Now that the show has come to a close and we've officially seen all of Nintendo's fun offerings for E3 2018, there were a few games and things that were notably absent. So today we've got the 6 biggest Nintendo things missing from this year's E3. What's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Gabe is here, and while we had a blast with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, it was great to see Super Mario Party appear. Fire Emblem 3 Houses, I wanted more. We got a really nice first trailer, and obviously the indie titles, some of the third-party stuff. There were some games that we fully expected to be at the show, and they were just MIA. And I think the first one we have to talk about, because everyone thought 100% it would be there, is Yoshi, which now has been moved to 2019, and they're not really saying much about it.
Yeah, they've said it's still in development, and besides that, not a whole lot. We expected a release date, and we thought it was going to be this year, and not only is it not this year, it's sometime next year. There's some ambiguity to this game, something is happening clearly because they showed a decent amount of it during last year's E3. It's been a full year and still nothing. Right. Nintendo doesn't do this that often, really. Yeah. So it's very strange.
We fully expected it to be an earlier title as well. I know some people said November, but here at SwitchForce we thought, okay, maybe it's the August or even a September title. Everything sort of got shifted around with Smash Brothers moving to December 7th, Yoshi moving to 2019, but odd that it wasn't touched upon. And I don't know if it's just because they wanted to keep the emphasis on what is coming out sooner, or if there is maybe some development hiccup with that title, but we don't even have a real title for that title.
Yoshi.
We don't have a release date, we don't have a title, we know it's next year. Do you think this one slips beyond the first half? Is this something that we see next E3?
Probably not. That's really hard to imagine.
Yeah.
Right? That they announced this thing 2 years ago, if hypothetically it releases, at the back half of the year. That's crazy. I can't foresee that happening whatsoever, but then I also wouldn't have thought that the game was going to be a 2019 game either. So
right, I expect it to be at a direct, whether later this year, kind of prepping the fires for 2019, or maybe early next year, but an oddity for sure. And the next game that I expected to be there, but makes a little more sense at its omission, is Metroid Prime 4. They showed the teaser last year, but there was no substance as of yet. So it was understandable that it wasn't there, and Bill Trinan spoke on, hey, there's not really a ton to show right now. They want to wait till it is at a place where they feel it's ready to be shown, and they typically, and we know this about Nintendo, don't like to put things out there very early. They like to make sure that it is ready for consumption and that they feel confident about the polished product that they're presenting.
Yeah, this one's way less of a surprise to me. I didn't expect Metroid to be here in any capacity. That ended up being the case, but I know it would have been awesome to see Metroid be around and seeing the first gameplay. That would have been a very exciting thing for E3. That would have maybe topped it, because just been the icing on the cake really for Nintendo's direct presentation, because they had some new stuff with Ex Machina and we got Fire Emblem revealed, but not too much new stuff besides Mario Party. Right. And gameplay for this would have been awesome. So
yeah, it would have been sort of the showstopper at the end to unveil, hey, this is what the next iteration of Metroid Prime looks like. And I guess it makes you sort of retrospectively see that they kind of pulled a Todd Howard with Starlink and Elder Scrolls 6, they just threw it out there to let the people know it was being worked on. Maybe it really wasn't that far along, and now it's coming together. I still expect that to be a title next year. I don't think this is years in the future. But it wasn't at E3. I thought maybe we'd see some of it. That one, I totally think will be saved for next E3.
Probably.
I don't expect to see that at an interim direct.
Yeah, no. I feel like that's something you save. So I agree. Probably back half of next year for that game, but probably next year.
We could already even kind of maybe predict that Pokemon 2019 and Metroid Prime 4 would be the 2 big holiday titles, sort of like Pokemon and Smash are this year. So the number 3 thing that was a notable omission was Pikmin 4. There was no indication that the game was going to be there, but I feel like this one belongs on the list because we know that game has been in development for ages. It's not something that we're just conjuring, we hope they're making a new this, or we hope that, it would be great to see Animal Crossing. I'm sure eventually we get Animal Crossing. But we've heard a lot about this new Pikmin project over the years. Still MIA. What is going on? Miyamoto, get to gardening. I want this game so bad.
Yeah, he said years ago that it was complete, so...
Right.
I can't even imagine what's going on.
It could have been that they decided to restructure for Switch, or maybe they realized that they learned some things along the way, and then
they knew what the Switch was. I mean, if Panic Buttons had the Switch for 6 years,
right? Yeah.
So I don't think it has anything.
Or just to do with adjusting to modern markets, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I'm totally at a loss for that, but I expected that. That's one thing I did think was going to happen, but I don't know.
It would have been my favorite announcement of the show. So personally, I was very bummed. Hopefully we see Pikmin 4. That one I can't even guess when it shows. It could be any time. They've made no mention as of late, so maybe it's not even a thing. I hope it's a thing. The latest Pikmin being Hey Pikmin on 3DS. Not really the Pikmin I love, so I'm really eager to see when this one appears. The fourth thing, and it's the last game of the list, is the Retro Studios project. We heard rumors and leaks about this Star Fox Grand Prix, which would be this sort of Diddy Kong racing, but set in the Star Fox universe. We did get a Star Fox appearance in Starlink over at Ubisoft, but nothing again from Retro at this E3.
Yeah, God, that one we shouldn't have expected, right? Because they said all along, like, hey, this is like games for this year, and well, clearly they showed a couple of things that aren't this year in the form of Fire Emblem and Ex Machina. So
Damon Ex Machina.
Yeah, Damon. Yeah. I'm always weird about that name. So yeah, I didn't expect to see this one either, but there was so much rumor about it that I did start to wonder, like, hey, maybe they just like announced this like in a like reactionary move to like these leaks. Reggie like spoke about leaks with, I believe it was IGN, saying like, hey, like leaks are not cool. We work really hard to surprise our fans, things like that. He's disappointed by things like that. So I do wonder if that had an impact on it. I don't think it was ever going to be shown, but yeah. I do wonder if they thought about it.
They just have been gone for a while. Like, when is Retro ready? That's one again that I could see coming in a direct, or maybe it is saved for next E3. Also, it kind of depends what the project is. If it is actually at Star Fox Grand Prix, it is a major announcement, but it's one that you could make it in direct. I don't know that it necessarily needs to be saved for next summer, but we have no concept of how far along that is. You know, the rumor and leak said it was a 2019 title. If it's an early 2019 title, then we could see it at like a November direct.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be really cool. We just have no concrete information. We have conjecture, but that's about it.
Yeah. The last two on our list are more things or services or accessories, and we'll go there first. No new Joy-Con or Pro controllers announced. They did obviously highlight GameCube controllers being compatible with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and that is a nice addition. We love playing it that way. But it's so odd to me that there have been no new Joy-Con this year. And where are the cool Pro controllers? They did such a great job with the Splatoon 2 and the Xenoblade 2. I want more, and we get none. Do you think there will be one come holiday season for either Mario Party or for Smash?
There's still a chance because they can easily do those during a direct. I feel like maybe the GameCube controller, is replacing what the Pro controller would have done for Smash. So maybe not for that, but I mean, you mentioned Super Mario Party. Maybe that gets a Joy-Con because you're gonna.
It's so focused on it. I mean, they have like 3 on the box art, so it would make good sense. Or maybe it just struck me that there's this Nintendo thing of they don't want to overload too many options, and it's like, hey, we have our reds, our blues, our green, our pink, our yellow, and our gray, and we're good.
I don't think that they're going to be good forever. Like, no. Like,
it's been a long time since we had a new one.
Sure, but I think at some point you start releasing other things. As the years go by, that's kind of one of the ways that you continue to make money on a platform. You just like release different colors.
I sure hope so, because they were on a roll for a while with like ARMS and then Splatoon 2 and then Xenoblade. Like, it seemed like, okay, almost every major release is going to get something. We didn't for Mario. We aren't obviously, at least as of yet, for the games this year. So I hope that appears. It's not the biggest deal in the world, but I was pretty pumped for some new colors and definitely a new Pro controller. But you got the GameCube, I guess, is sort of the replacement announcement. The last thing on our list is really anything to do with apps or online or themes. Now, themes are something that we've never heard to be a thing, but it was something I've hoped for since the beginning. I think it would be so cool to expand beyond the light and dark theme of the Switch and give you something that is more game-specific. And it's not a crazy idea because they do it on 3DS, and they've done it extensively for so many titles and so many characters. And then apps. There was that rumor right before the show that, Netflix and Hulu coming to Switch. Best Buy confirmed that it was just an error. Reggie said, talk to Netflix. He said apps are coming, but just not now. Also, I found it odd that there was just no mention of the online service or further explanation of why you want to buy into this, how they're handling sort of the NES games. That kind of struck me as odd.
Yeah, I don't know if that's an E3 like size announcement or details, I guess. I've always thought that, like, for this online at least, it's just going to be like, hey, Switch is flipped, now you just got to pay for it. And, like, they're not going to make this big, like, deal about it. I think they're just going to take the people's money a little bit. It's not...
Well, I think just because you do have this cool aspect where it's bringing in the nostalgia with some new elements for those NES games, it would have been nice to get out in front of that. I mean, the service is launching without, barring any delays in a couple of months, 3 months, and I don't think they have a direct between now and then. At least
I don't think
I
so.
won't expect one. So yeah, messaging on this a little bit odd. By this E3, I fully expected this console to have YouTube, Netflix, Hulu. That one, to me, is even more awkward. I get that it's probably not like an E3, like, hey, we got Netflix. That's almost just like, what? Why are you announcing that? Just put it out there. But I fully felt that, like, by this point in the Switch's life cycle, we would have those apps.
Yeah, I guess the thing I think about, not apps, I'm talking about online once again, is for the people that aren't us, the people that aren't like super in the know, that aren't watching E3, like how are they going to feel one day when they turn on their Switch to play like Mario Kart like online?
Exactly.
So like younger kids, but again, like the price is so low that
you just gotta somehow find a way to maybe they'll just throw up trailers on YouTube explaining overviews. They love doing those, like those 5 to 6 minute overview trailers. Like, okay, here's what you get. Here's why it's worth it. We're not just trying to take. I mean, they are just trying to take your money, but
yeah,
that there's value there. That there's rewards.
Oh,
for doing
and
so.
there is value there.
Yeah.
So make no mistake. Like I think that's a great service. I'm not
sure.
like being like weird about it. I think it's totally worth the price. It's just like you said, strange that maybe they haven't talked about it much, but they have 3 months.
And there's not really a game that's going to coincide. I mean, Mario Party is going to have some online. That's in October. Smash Bros. Is what we thought they would pair it with, but that's not until December. So perhaps that's part of it as well, that there's nothing really to associate the push with. But I won't use the apps personally. I just know it's something that will help the Switch achieve a little bit more parity, and it matters to a section of people to have those apps. Themes would matter a lot to me. But yeah, not there at all. Was there anything that you expected to be at E3 that you thought was notably missing, or any games that you were really excited for that just weren't there? Let us know in the comments down below. I think of that entire list, it's the most sad about Pikmin.
I'm probably the most sad about... I mean, I want to say Metroid just because I would love to see it, but I didn't expect it either. So yeah, but I would have loved to see Metroid. So
yeah, and we'll probably end up getting most of this stuff at a later date. It just wasn't in the cards for this week. But thanks so much for all your support throughout the week. We've got a whole lot more content, so make sure to subscribe to stay up to date on everything Switch and the rest of the year. For myself and Gabe, follow us on Twitter and Discord, link in the description below. And until next time, thanks so much. SwitchForce out.